Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a huge decision facing a major city. Lusaka, Zambia is growing fast, and it needs a lot more power. The choice it's facing pits a very old, familiar way of making energy against the technology of the future. So what's this all about? Well, it boils down to this. Does the city double down on a fossil fuel plant that feels familiar? Or does it take a leap into the future with a state-of-the-art solar and battery system? And believe me, this isn't just about technology. It's about money, public health, and the city's entire long-term vision. Okay, so let's get right to the core of the problem here. Lusaka needs a massive 300 megawatts of new, reliable energy. This isn't a nice-to-have, it's essential for businesses, for growth, for everyday life. So the real question isn't if they need the power, it's how on earth they're going to get it. To meet that need, two very, very different ideas have been put on the table. Each one represents a completely separate path forward, and each comes with its own unique set of costs, risks, and, of course, rewards.
In one corner, you've got the old-school champ, the heavy fuel oil, or HFO, plant. It's basically a giant engine that burns imported diesel. We know how it works. In the other corner, you have the new contender, a solar plus battery setup designed to soak up all that incredible Zambian sunshine and store it so you have power 24/7. It's really a choice between being tied to global fuel prices or creating your own energy from the sun.
Now, this is where it gets really interesting. To understand the money side of things, you can't just look at the price tag to build one of these things. The true cost of energy reveals itself over decades of operation. And this analogy just hits the nail on the head. Think about it. You could buy a cheap old gas guzzler, but you'll be feeling the pain at the pump for years. Or you could shell out more for a new EV, knowing your fuel costs next to nothing. This is the exact choice Lusaka is facing with these two power plants. And here's where you get that initial sticker shock. If you're only looking at the upfront construction cost, what the experts call CapEx, the HFO plant looks like a no-brainer, right? It's way cheaper to build. Honestly, for a lot of people, the conversation could just end right here. But that would be missing the biggest part of the story. Because, and this is a huge because, the second that HFO plant turns on, its running costs are all about one thing: fuel. A staggering 70 to 80% of its entire yearly budget is just for buying imported fuel. And the price of that fuel, it's all over the place. That's your gas guzzler right there. And the solar plant? Well, its fuel costs a grand total of 0. The sun doesn't send a bill. And that single fact, right there, changes the entire economic equation. So what you're really looking at is a trade. The solar plant asks for more money up front, but in return, it gives you something incredibly valuable: certainty. You're trading a lifetime of unpredictable fuel bills for a small, stable, and predictable maintenance budget. You're swapping chaos for calm. This is exactly why experts use a special metric called the levelized cost of energy, or LCOE. Think of it as the true all-in price tag. It takes the cost to build the plant, plus all the running costs for its entire life, and divides it by all the energy it'll ever make. It's the only way to compare apples to apples, and when you do that, the solar plant comes out on top. It just gives you more bang for your buck over its lifetime. But you know what? It's not just about the money. Not by a long shot. We also have to talk about reliability, public health, and some other, well, hidden rewards. Let's talk about keeping the lights on. The HFO plant is one giant, complex machine. When it needs a major repair, the whole thing has to shut down, sometimes for weeks. One big failure could mean a citywide blackout. The solar plant, on the other hand, is modular. It's made of thousands of individual panels and batteries. If one part has a problem, the other 99.9% just keep on working. There's no single point of failure. It's just built to be more resilient. And then there's the human impact, which you really can't put a price on. Burning heavy fuel oil is, well, it's dirty. It pumps out all sorts of nasty stuff that's linked to things like asthma and heart disease. The solar plant? 0. No emissions. That means cleaner air for everyone in Lusaka. It's a direct investment in people's health. Okay, get this. The solar plant also has this kind of secret weapon, a special anti-soiling nano coating for its panels. It sounds super high-tech, but what it does is amazing. For a relatively small upfront cost, it cranks up energy production by almost 7% and slashes cleaning costs. It's a total force multiplier that pays for itself in just a couple of years and then just keeps adding value. So all this cool tech isn't just for show.
It actually creates a way better business model. The solar plant isn't a one-trick pony. It sells its energy, of course, but it can also earn money from carbon credits. It can get paid for helping to keep the grid stable, and it makes extra cash from all that bonus energy from the nanocoating. That's 4 different ways to make money.
And the HFO plant? It has exactly one way to make money: selling power. That's it. And all the while, its biggest expense, that wild, unpredictable fuel cost, is constantly eating away at its only source of profit. It's just a much, much riskier business. So when you lay it all out, the upfront price, the lifetime costs, the reliability, the business model, all of it, what's the verdict? What is the truly smarter investment for Lusaka? This final comparison really says it all, doesn't it? The HFO plant gets a little checkmark for that initial price, but after that, it's all solar. The lifetime cost is lower and predictable. It has 0 emissions, it's way more reliable, and it's actually built for the future, not the past. It's a future-proof asset. So look, the big takeaway here is that this isn't some classic battle between the green option and the cheap option. The amazing thing is, the solar plant is the smarter choice on all fronts. Yes, it's cleaner, but it's also more reliable, more advanced, and just a flat-out better financial bet for the long haul. And that kind of leaves us all with a bigger question to chew on, doesn't it? When we make these huge, decades-long decisions, whether it's for a city or for ourselves, is the cheapest ticket price today really the smartest move? Or is the real value in investing in something that's more efficient, more resilient, and built for the future we actually want? Something to think about.